Hey, hey! Are you still awake? Oh, good. I was worried had I bored you with my marshmallow roasting tips, my endless tips. The fire is perfect tonight, isn't it? You hear that cracking? It's kind of hypnotic, isn't it? The way it glows like it's alive. Honestly, I always thought that campfires were meant only for one thing, and only one thing, and that is scary stories. Oof. Do you want to hear some? Not the usual urban legends or, like jump scare stuff. I'm talking the real ones. The kind my grandmother used to tell me when I was a kid. Those were creepy. She said they weren't just stories though. She swore they were all truth. I know. Yeah, every grandma says that, yeah. But hers, those stories, they had those weird details, like she's seen them herself, Alright, no, your turn is over. You already told your story. That was very creepy, by the way. That thing in the mirror, oh my gosh. I'm still thinking about it, actually. Ugh. No, but it's my turn. You had your time, now it's my turn. Are you ready? Okay, where do I start? Okay, so the first one is called The Whispering Woods. So, there is this forest just outside of the village where my lovely grandmother grew up. It's a real place, actually. It's not made up. There are thick pines, the foggy ground, barely any sound even at noon, honestly. That's a very deep place. People call that forest a healing forest. I don't really know why they call it. Anyway, has nothing with healing, I think. But, no one ever went there to get healed. People actually avoided that forest really much. You know why? Because of the whispers. My grandma said that when you walked past the tree line, you'd start to hear voices. Not the loud ones, just quiet whispers. Like someone breathing right by your ear. even if no one else was there. Can you imagine that? She told me about her cousin, Yara. That's a real story. Yara was 16 and she was stupid brave according to my grandmother. She thought it was all a superstition. One night, she and her friends, they dared each other, stupid people, go into those woods far beyond the old well. It was deep in the middle of the forest. She brought a candle and a pocket knife. No even flashlight on purpose. I can't even wrap my head around that. I swear, anyway, that was the last time anyone saw her. Except grandmother said she heard from her neighbor, a man called Paul. She said he was pretty much weird, that he saw Yara walking out of the woods 3 days later. 3 days later. But there is the thing. She didn't talk. Not even once. Not a word. She didn't say anything. She just walked straight to her house. She just sat there on the porch, on the front porch, and she just stared at the trees for hours. I remember my grandma was so emotional when she was telling this. She just stared on those trees and she was just listening. Then, that night, she just vanished for good. No one ever saw her again. No footprints, no note, no sound, nothing at all. It's like she never even been there. They say if you go to this healing forest during the full moon and stand still long enough, you will hear a boy whisper your name over and over and over, like he's looking for you, like he wants you to come with him. Would you? Oh my God. Would you actually follow that voice? I mean, if you were standing there in that forest in the dark and you heard your own name, can you even imagine how creepy that is? But would you follow? Because I know you're kind of crazy too, but that's just too much, isn't it? Yeah, me neither. I wouldn't go. No way. No. Or, I don't know, maybe I would. It depends on who's whispering, you know. Anyway, all right. You need something creepier, I see, because you look like you're too calm right now, I can tell. I need to get you on edge. You're not too much spooked out right now. Okay, so there's another one. This one actually used to freak me out so bad. One time I kept the lights on for a week. It's called The Man in the Window. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. This is the true one. So my grandmother's best friend, Sandra, she lived alone after her husband died. Just her and her 2 cats. In a tiny, tiny house outside the city. I remember that house. She was really independent, actually. She didn't like people fussing over her, you know. She was very stubborn too. But she had this one routine. Every night, she would drink a chamomile tea. She would sit on her little couch by the window and she would knead something, you know, while watching the road and just chilling. One night, she saw a man standing just across the street. He wasn't moving, he was just standing there. At first, she thought it was a neighbor, or maybe someone was lost in the area. But you know, he didn't do anything. He didn't walk away, he didn't even shift his weight while he was standing, you know? He was just staring at her. So what she did, she turned the lights off, thinking that maybe he'd leave if he thought she wasn't there. Ooh, but when she looked again, he was closer. He was right on the other side of the street. He was still watching. No flashlight, no phone, nothing, just standing. That's so creepy. She locked the door. She shut the curtains and she called the police. Yeah, she was creeped out. Police came 30 minutes later and no one was outside. No footprints, nothing. She was shaking. But you know, she chalked it up in herself and she thought it was just a creep, you know, she was just like, I was just creeped up. That's what she thought. She was thinking she was just, you know, overthinking it. But except every night after that, around that same time, she would feel like someone was watching her. Not during the day though, you know? Not during her walks when she was outside, but just at night through the window. Then it goes creepy. One window, she opened her curtain just a little crack, you know? And there he was, right outside her window, so close. His face, as he said, it wasn't angry or sad. In fact, it wasn't even a face, really. That's what she said. It was just a smile. Wide. This crazy, way too wide for a person. A natural smile. She screamed and she fell backwards. She knocked over her chamomile tea. The next morning, I think her neighbor found her passed out on the floor. The tea soaked into the carpet. Her cats were scratching at the door, you know. And here's the part that still gets me. There was a single handprint on the inside of the glass. Not hers. what I mean by the inside. Um, anyway, like, I don't know, was it a ghost or like a shapeshifter or something else, something worse? So anyway, as I said, like what I meant by the print was inside. Oh, didn't even get inside the glass. You know, it's like, it's when like those windows, like two-layered windows, there are like two layers of glass with the emptiness inside, you know, like in between the glass there's like some, yeah, you know. So the print was inside. Can you imagine that? I asked grandma once, and I mean I was little, but my grandma said, you know, some things they do not knock, they are already inside waiting. That gave me chills too. But how can you even say something like this to a child? That's creepy. You are really quiet now. Are you getting spooked? You can scoot closer to the fire if you want, or to me, you know. Okay, I see that was a good story. All right, maybe I should stop here, unless you want to hear one more. All right, I knew you would. You're braver than you look. But you know, this one isn't exactly a story, it's more like a warning, maybe. You know how my grandma said some people can see things others can't? She used to say, if you feel a sudden cold spot right behind you, like someone just breathed down your neck, it means something followed you. Not too far, not too far behind, not dangerous at first, but it starts to show up in reflections, like in mirror, in a window, like even in the puddles. It's chosen you for what she never said. But she made me promise. She said, promise that if I ever saw a version of myself in the reflection that blinked when I didn't, or smiled when I wasn't, I had to run immediately. No questions. Oh my god, I'm spooked out myself. Just run and never look back. She was talking about this as if that was something she experienced. So I gotta ask, when we were by the lake earlier, did you look at your reflection? Did it move with you? Did it smile when you didn't? Are you sure? because you've been quiet for a while now. Okay, I'm just messing with you, mostly. But hey, just in case, okay? Maybe just don't look in any mirrors tonight, okay? Not until morning. Okay, that's enough. That's enough of nightmare fuel for tonight, okay? You did good. You did better than I thought. You didn't flinch too much. I'm proud of you. Yes. Come on. Come on. Let's toss another log in the fire, finish the last of the marshmallows, and talk about something lighter, okay? Maybe like puppies, or like waffles, or just literally anything, or yeah, about anything that doesn't whisper or doesn't have a smile, a very unnatural smile. Creepy. And hey, if you do hear someone calling your name from the woods, just pretend you didn't hear it, okay? Good. Now scoot closer. It's getting cold.